Hello and welcome to the channel Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. You've come in at a really great time. This is Sci Fi July, but I'm combining it with To Be Tuesday. Two for the price of one. Now, before I get into this, I do want to send a big shout out to all my new subscribers and of course my existing subscribers. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey. It truly means the world to me and I appreciate your support so much. Thank you. Now I will be discussing this film in depth and I will be discussing plot specifics. There will be spoilers ahead. And I know I just went through Jean-Claude Van Damme, looking at Jean-Claude Van Damme films, but I wanted to leave this one out because I wanted to tie it in with sci-fi, because this is probably, apart from Universal Soldier, this is probably Van Damme's biggest sci-fi type film. And man, what a movie. Let's get into it. Now, like I said, I will be discussing plot specifics. There will be spoilers ahead. If you have not seen this, you've been warned. Now, the film was directed by Peter Hyams. Of course, it stars Jean-Claude Van Damme. It also stars Mia Sara, Ron Silver, Bruce McGill, Gloria Rubin, and many, many more. The plot centres on the Time Enforcement Commission, or TEC, TEC, an agency responsible for safeguarding the integrity of history and preventing any attempts to alter the past for personal gain. Max Walker, a respected TEC agent, finds himself embroiled in a dangerous conspiracy when he uncovers a sinister plot to manipulate the past for unimaginable wealth and power. Now, as we always do, we're going to start off with the cast, and of course, big guy, Van Damme. Actually really good in this role. It's one of his roles where he does act, and he does act really well. I do enjoy his character in it, and I think Van Damme delivers a solid performance as Max Walker. It showcases both his martial arts skills, but also a bit of emotional depth from him as an actor. His character's determination to protect the timeline while also coping with a personal loss, which is kind of stereotypical when it comes to police officers in these type of movies, especially around that era. But he does it really well, and he does create a somewhat relatable and sympathetic hero. Yeah, not many of us can do the splits like him, but we're not relating to that, are we? But on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got the bad guy, Ron Silver, as Senator McComb, and he is absolutely diabolical. Like, he is evil, and you can't help but love to hate him, especially when you see there's a huge difference between his past self and his future self. Like, the way they interact together, the way he talks to himself it's great. Like, he does just this very evil personified role so well. The plot about him using time or manipulating time for his own gain and to create extra wealth and power, it does add an extra layer of intrigue to the story compared to what could have been a simple bank robbing time travel film. Or the way the movie opens, it could just be a time travel bank robbing film, but they add that extra layer to give it a bit more oomph, I would say. Now that leads me on to the directing and the writing. Now I will discuss some of the secondary characters in the writing because, yeah, there is a little bit to the writing I think is left out. But anyway, look, the action sequences are a highlight of Timecop. You know, they do feature Van Damme's signature martial arts skills where he's doing his high kicks, he does his splits, and there are some really well choreographed fights in it. The movie balances some really good combat scenes with thoughtful exploration of the time travel concept, and it results in a very unique viewing experience that appeals to both action enthusiasts as well as sci-fi fans. It's got a very balanced role between the two. It doesn't play the time travel aspects, it doesn't dumb it down, but it doesn't make it overly complex either. And I'll go through that in a bit, but anyway, the film does its action really well. the conceptual elements, the design of it, which I'm going to touch on in a minute as well, but the actual story itself may seem somewhat predictable at times. You do see a few things coming. You do kind of know how it's going to end. You can see it as it comes. That doesn't make it any less enjoyable. Some of the familiar tropes in it that you get used to, it is what it is, okay? This is not a movie that's going to break any records. It's not going to break any boundaries or anything like that. It is what it is, but it's done well. Now, I mentioned some of the secondary characters, and this is Mia Sara, Bruce McGill, Gloria Rubin, their characters. They do lack sufficient development, and it does kind of leave you with a bit more of a desire to see them developed as better characters. They're just they're there. That's it. And a couple of points that I do want to bring up is the sled. Now this could go into effects as well, but when they take the sled into the past, they are in this little, kind of like I don't want to say a car, they call it a sled. But when they come into the past, that sled's not there, it's somewhere else. But when they return, they're back in it. So they're in the sled to the past, they come back to it, but when they're in the, I don't get it. Can someone explain how that works? Because I have no freaking idea. Like, absolutely no idea. And it's confused me for years. And this will lead into the effects. I do like the time travel effects. And for what it is, Timecop has aged actually really well with its effects. The futuristic elements behind it, you don't see a lot of the city, but you do see some things. You see the base is very minimalistic. It's got a very 90s aesthetic. Production design combined with practical effects kind of enhance the ambience of the film, and it does immerse you in that world. However, like I said, two things stick out to me when it comes to the effects. The sled looks good, but I don't get that part. But the cars themselves, the cars you see, the sled has windows. The cars that drive around do not have any windows. I get that they're automated cars, but these things look like the love child of the APC from Aliens and the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Yet there's no windows at all. They're automated cars, but wouldn't you want to look at the outside, make sure you're not going to drive into a tree or something? I don't know. But yeah, that kind of seemed weird to me. They look overly complex and there's really no style to them. They're very, let's put pipes on it, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like the cars. What can I say? And the second part is the CGI in McComb's downfall. That to me, I remember it looking good, but over the years it has degraded in its, it's not as good as what it used to be. Even back then it wasn't great, but it was 94 and it looked okay. So it really doesn't stand up now. But I cut it some slack because it was 94, right? Now, rewatchability, look, the film's strength lies in its creative and its well executed concept of time travel. Rather than getting lost in complex scientific explanations, Timecop presents a clear and concise approach to the temporal mechanics. The rules are simple. Change the past creates a ripple effect that drastically alters the future. End of story. It doesn't delve into the mechanics behind it. What can I say? This makes it easy to rewatch. And you wouldn't watch it. Well, I know for me, I won't watch it a lot, but I will go back and rewatch it every so often because I do enjoy it. It's fun, and that's what you want in this. You want more fun, less thinking. So overall, I would say Timecop remains a highly enjoyable sci-fi action film that does merge time travel intrigue with thrilling cop drama really well. Van Damme gives a great performance, and along with some well executed action sequences and the straightforward concept of time travel, it keeps you engaged throughout the film. Though it's not going to break any new ground, it delivers a well-rounded and entertaining cinematic experience that it secured its place as a cult classic in the sci-fi genre. It spawned a sequel and a TV series and a Super Nintendo game. Yeah, I believe it was originally based on a Dark Horse comic as well. I've never read that, so I don't know how true to the source material it is. But look, overall, Timecop for me gets a 7 out of 10. So there you have it. That is my review of Timecop. What did you think of this movie? Have you seen it before? Let me know what you thought of the film down in the comments below. But if you haven't already, please do give this video a thumbs up. It'd be much appreciated. And of course, it helps with the whole YouTube algorithm thing, which we all know does something. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. If you hit that notification bell, you will be notified every time I do release a new video. I am aiming at doing 2 of these a week, so I've got my Monday theme reviews and always my Tubi Tuesdays. I may bring back my Savage reviews. I don't know, depending on time. But look, I've got to be honest with you, they're tough to watch. Like, it is tough to sit through those films. Like, I try, but it's very, very difficult. But we'll see. I might bring them back, maybe once a month. Who knows? Do you guys want to see them come back? Let me know. If you want to see any particular movies, let me know. Hit me up on the comments below. We've got my Instagram in there, Twitter, Threads, whatever. But other than that, like I said, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and more importantly, have a great day. Bye.